Chapter 24. Spring was stretching its limbs across the fields, coaxing green buds from the earth, awakening the bees to their persistent hum. The air held that subtle warmth, just enough to hint at the life stirring beneath the soil. Alice leaned back in her chair, cradling her coffee, letting her gaze wander lazily over the emails filling her screen. Between her work and managing the drones, she was usually too busy to savor mornings like this. But today, the sunlight streaming in and the scent of damp earth felt grounding. A soft chime pulled her attention to her phone. It was a message from Stella, who was in the midst of a whirlwind of last-minute packing for her long-awaited trip to Antarctica. Stella, thanks again for watching Finnick while I'm gone. Walking him over now, appreciate it more than you know. Alice smiled at the message, picturing Stella trekking through the familiar trails with Finnick trotting alongside her, his tail wagging as he explored every nook and cranny. Alice was looking forward to dog-sitting, especially after how helpful Stella's updates had been in keeping her fields crow-free. With the latest patches, the drones had stopped behaving unpredictably. Paul, her husband, hadn't noticed any issues either, so she felt reassured, maybe even a bit proud that the system was working. As she took another sip of coffee, her computer chimed with a familiar notification. She glanced at it. A drone alert. One of the regular reports that had become part of her daily routine. Repeat offender detected, the screen read, along with the name her algorithm had assigned, Russell Crowe. She snorted at the name, half amused, half annoyed, then paused. Repeat offender was the old alert, the one before Stella fixed the code. She almost dismissed it, her thoughts more on Stella's departure than anything else, but curiosity nudged her hand toward the mouse, and she clicked on the link to the live feed. The screen flickered and the drone's cameras adjusted, bringing the landscape into sharp focus. Sunlight spilled over the fields, casting long shadows over the rows of freshly turned soil. But what caught her eye wasn't an intruding pest. Instead, her breath hitched as she took in the unmistakable figure at the edge of her field. Finnick. Her pulse quickened as she watched, confusion and dread tightening in her chest. Finnick wasn't alone. The drones, her drones, were closing in on him, their movements purposeful, almost predatory, circling him like he was marked target. She could see him dart left, then right, evading the relentless pursuit, his ears flat, tail tucked low. Panic flared in his eyes, and beside him, swatting at the drones, was Stella. She saw Stella run off the field toward the woods. Alice's heart leaped into her throat. Her fingers flew to the keyboard, immediately executing the emergency shutdown. With a few swift keystrokes, she sent the kill command, forcing each drone to drop from the sky, halting their pursuit in an instant. But the sinking feeling remained. She slammed her laptop shut, bolting out the door without a second thought, barely aware of the coffee spilling across her desk. The spring air slapped her cheeks as she sprinted toward the fields. Her boots hit the earth in uneven strides, stumbling over roots and rocks as her thoughts raced faster than her feet. "Finnick!" she called out, her voice cracking with urgency. Her legs burned as she pushed herself harder, her vision blurring with panic. She didn't want to believe what she'd just seen. Finnick was family, Stella's beloved companion, and the idea that her creation had turned against him felt like a betrayal. As she neared them, she froze. The drones were haphazardly strewn across the ground, their propellers tangled in the dirt, still as fallen leaves. And then, just beyond them, her gaze locked onto Finnick, and a figure lying crumpled among the foliage. Stella. Alice's heart plummeted as she rushed forward, her mind grappling with the scene. Finnick was pawing frantically at Stella, his whines sharp and desperate. She could see the swell of red marks across Stella's skin, angry welts dotting her face and arms. Bee stings. Swarming around them were the remnants of disturbed hives, the angry hum of bees filling the air, furious at being jolted from their peace. It all clicked together in Alice's mind, each piece falling into place with chilling clarity. The drones hadn't just pursued Finnick. They had pushed Stella across the field into the woods and herded her until she stumbled into the hives. The technology that was meant to protect her crops, to safeguard her field had become something she couldn't control. Alice knelt beside Stella, her hands shaking as she reached for her friend, praying that she wasn't too late. In that instant, the boundaries between creator and creation, between intention and consequence, collapsed, leaving only the harrowing truth of what had gone wrong. Her EpiPen, Alice said frantically. She was never without her mace or her EpiPen. Alice started searching Stella's pockets. Empty. She dialed 911. Stella's death barely made a ripple. A short obituary in the local paper, a heartfelt post on LinkedIn from her boss, a few reactions and condolences from her colleagues, and life carried on. The team at National Geographic loaded the ship and sailed without Stella.